eyesight as well as hearing to try and detect prey. And they'll have a mixed menu. They'll feed on rodents, also juvenile hares, and they'll do this swooping flight backwards and forwards over the snow 10, 15, possibly 20 times, until they can pinpoint where the lemming is under the snow. Final flight, they'll stall, pulling the feet to the chest and then dropping, punching the feet through the snow, hopefully catching their lemming. Very long legs, handy for punching through deep snow, where the name Misty came from. Gordon was just called Gordon, to be honest. No real reason for that one. But Gordon came to us during the first lockdown. It was a very difficult time for everybody, and Bird of Prey normally tries his hardest. The only downside to Gordon, daft as a brush, that bird. If anything goes wrong in the display, it is normally Gordon's fault. But we don't hold that against him. Again, he'd done limited flying before he came here, and I just thought, well, the more he flies, the better he'll get. We did end up with a few cartwheels and a few forward rolls across the flying arena, but slowly he has started to improve, and he is only 6 years old. Compared to Misty, that is now on the ground. He sees a movement, he'll then swoop, and finally, pounce. And that's why I didn't jazz it. Weighing in today at 3.7 ounces. Nothing to them. And one of the few birds of prey, you can tell who is who by the colour. We thought due to his size and his coloration he'd be very popular. He was. Until he decided to start landing on people's heads rather than the gloves. Viper got the sack, or the food. But dustbins have rubbish in. They can't always physically flip the dustbin over. Brick in the bottom weighs down our dustbin. If they can't flip it over, what they'll quite happily do is normally jump in head first. Jump in head first, have your meal, jump out, you're on your way with a belly full of food, and it's a good day. You go back in again? Yeah, well done. But also, on the island, there's backpackers, scientists, researchers. They take a break to have a sarnie. Next minute, you'll have a group of caracaras raiding all the rucksacks. Sunbathe. Sunbathing is also baking bacteria off skin, feather and scale. The feet on vultures tend to be quite turkey-like. They're a scavenger, not a hunter, and that applies to these four here. Normally with the vultures, it's the beak we have to pay attention to. The beak on the big vultures can rip and tear through most hide, organ, tissue, sinew, even certain bones. Well, these guys have a very long, very slender beak. They're designed to get into the nooks and crannies, into the ribs, into joints, into parts of the carcass other birds may struggle to get into. She is our female, and she's weighed in today at 16 pounds. She hasn't reached the 22 pound mark like some of those in the wild, but to be honest with you, any bird over 16 pounds can be a bit of a challenge to get up and flying each and every day in North Yorkshire. So we are more than happy with our girl here. And these birds are found Eastern Europe, Russia, Japan, all the way to Hokkaido, one of the most northern islands of Japan, where her name comes from. And she is part of the fishing. Feel free to take any pictures of Hokkaido, she is stunning. All we ask is please don't take pictures of Dave. Makes it feel very special when you do that. Hokkaido, I can fully understand. If you want to, fair enough by the way. But anyway, Dave will bring her over. And this bird hasn't been here from day one. And she will actually start to speed up a bit. He's not being rude or antisocial, it's just because his arm's about to drop off. But he will come across and see everybody. But I'm afraid she is the part of the kingfisher family, the largest species of the kingfisher family as well. And Rue I have hand-reared since she was 2 weeks old. She is now 8 years old. And over the years I have been very lucky to have hand-reared many different species of bird of prey. Hawk, eagle, buzzard, to name a few. But I've got to admit, Rue at 2 weeks old, probably the most ugliest chick I've ever seen. She's now fully grown and beautiful, an absolute... But how do they catch and kill this prey? Well, they do not use their feet. The feet are very parrot-like. No power, no pressure. The talons are incredibly blunt, and that's why I don't use a glove with this bird. In my own personal opinion, I don't think you really need to.